Bitcoin hits $97,000. What is the next target? I want to share that with you. And what is the local top target for Q2, as this will help drive altcoins into another bull rally. And a US senator is ready to vote on the stablecoin bill. This is huge news. And the SEC has dropped its case against PayPal for its stablecoin PYUSD. I'll give you all the details. Let's get into it. Hey everybody, welcome into the Thinking Crypto podcast, your home for cryptocurrency news and interviews. I'm your host, Tony Edward. On your way in, please hit that subscribe button as well as the thumbs up button and leave a comment below. If you're listening on a podcast platform such as Spotify or Apple, please leave a 5-star rating and review. Folks, we have to talk about the price of Bitcoin because, as you all know, Bitcoin leads the market and the altcoins follow. And as we've been discussing over the past month or so, Bitcoin has broken out from its bottom. It has cleared the 200-day moving average and it's building support levels. It's looking very strong here. The daily RSI still has some room to run. It is approaching the oversold zone. So of course, expect pullbacks. As always, nothing goes up in a straight line, but this looks very good. And Bitcoin touched $97,000. At the time of recording, it is at $96,906. And when we look at the weekly chart, we get more bullish confirmation. So on the weekly chart, we see a breakout of the weekly RSI, and the MACD is about to flip bullish, where the bears have been losing momentum. The red candles have been getting lighter and smaller. And what we've seen historically, that then flips to green candles and you see a very strong rally. So this setup is looking really good. So what is our next target? Because remember, we're not going to go up in a straight line. There will be pullbacks. And different analysts are highlighting that the next target is about $106,000. So the first target was $96,000. We clearly broke that. We've touched 97. So we're going to move up to 106,000. And then for a local top, which, this big rally that's going to take place, I believe, in this month into June, that could take us to about 130,000. So maybe between 125 to 130. Maybe it overshoots it a bit. We'll have to wait and see. But we'll have to see how the timeline plays out here, because typically you see sell in May, go away. That may not happen this time around because we had this big, massive correction due to the tariffs. A lot of fear in the markets, the stock market, crypto, everything sold off. So could we see this timeline push forward a bit? It's possible. So just be prepared for any scenario. Personally, I have my cash out plan with my price target. So as soon as Bitcoin hits 120K, profit taking is going to commence. 130K, again, profit taking is going to commence, and so on and so forth. And I'm doing this for altcoins. So as you all know, as Bitcoin has its rally, the liquidity will start flowing to ETH, XRP, Solana, and they're going to start pumping again, just like we saw in Q4 of last year. Same thing's going to happen. We have not seen a deviation from this, even though people like to say, oh, this altcoin, that altcoin. No, Bitcoin leads the market. And this is not about feelings or emotions or bias. It's about the data. What has it shown us? And that is Bitcoin leads the market, and the liquidity starts to be rotated down to the altcoins. So expect that this month going to June, we're going to see some very positive things. Now, is this guaranteed? Is this a certainty? Of course not. No one has a crystal ball, but based on what we're seeing on the charts, based on the data, we are seeing a setup here for another big rally. Could there be another black swan event that stops all this? Of course, but I think the higher probability is that we see the bull rally, because we kind of had a pseudo black swan with the tariff news. All markets corrected significantly. So I think that was your significant correction here, and that the markets now, there's only one direction for them to go, and that is up, because they've bottomed out. And you see the stock market is also moving up, and that's a very good sign. So the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, the Dow Jones, all seeing a recovery here. This is very, very good. So let's be patient and watch this play out. Now, folks, we have some very big news coming out of the Senate, and that is the U.S. Senate moves towards action on stablecoin bill. So many of you know Senator Bill Hagerty, he introduced the Genius Act in the Senate. It's a version of what was introduced in the House, which is the Stable Act. And of course, both the House and the Senate have to pass a version. The Senate's version, of course, is what's going to make it to the president for signatures. So there's a process to this, but the ball is rolling here, guys. And if you caught my interview with Congressman Tom Emmer this week, he talked a bit about what's going to come up next and much more. So let me give you the details here and who's the senator that is doing this. So Senate Majority Leader John Toon, a South Dakota Republican, started the ball rolling to fast track the guiding and establishing national innovation for U.S. stablecoins, the Genius Act, which is the Senate's version of two similar bills rolling through both chambers of Congress. The House of Representatives is expected to follow closely behind on its own voting. Toon's move to expedite the bill is meant to limit delays and floor action in order to get it done more quickly. It's so far unclear precisely when the Senate vote will happen, but an earlier vote on the effort in the Senate Banking Committee had approved it with a wide bipartisan majority of 18-6. The House Financial Services Committee also advanced a similar bill in April. Here's a quote. "I look forward to passing the Genius Act in short order to keep digital asset innovation in America, protect consumers, and make sure foreign companies are playing by the same rules," said Senator Bill Hagerty, the Tennessee Republican who authored the bill, in a statement. It's also backed by Senator Tim Scott, the chairman of the Senate Banking Committee. So, folks, we know President Trump gave the mandate that Congress needs to get both the stablecoin and market structure bill to his desk before the August recess because he wants to sign this. And we see the balls rolling here, folks. So we're in Q2, so they got to get this going. They've got, I think, up until July, maybe, to get this done. And I would think early July, because as we get into the summer, things become harder to get done. But this is very bullish. If we get stablecoin legislation passed, the stablecoin market's going to boom. I think we could hit $1 trillion by the end of this year, honestly, if they get it passed soon enough, because we saw different bank CEOs, like Bank of America CEO, said they are ready to launch a stablecoin once Congress passes legislation. And you can imagine the existing stablecoin issuers are going to go ham. They're going to ramp up significantly because everybody's in a competition now. But once the rules are clear, they're going to be able to innovate without any type of red tape and nonsense, kind of what we experienced on the Gary Gensler and Elizabeth Warren over the past 4 years. So this is huge. Very, very bullish. And speaking of stablecoins, the SEC ditches PayPal's PYUSD probe, removing key regulatory hurdle for its stablecoin. Many of you know PayPal, the payment giant, they launched their own stablecoin, PYUSD. They issued it on the Ethereum blockchain, and they've been trying to make inroads in different industries with their stablecoin. But of course, under Gary Gensler, they were attacked in a sense that they were getting investigated, but this is getting dropped, as with other enforcement actions and lawsuits the SEC has been dropping. So really, really big stuff here. And PayPal, obviously a huge company. And just this week, I reported to you guys that their competitors, so to speak, like MasterCard and Visa, are also integrating stablecoins and expanding as well. So competition's heating up, and this is really great. So here's a quote. "In November 2023, we received a subpoena from the U.S. SEC Division of Enforcement relating to PayPal's USD stablecoin. The subpoena requested the production of documents. In February 2025, the SEC communicated it was closing this inquiry without enforcement action," PayPal disclosed this week in a filing. Great news here. And the folks at PayPal are going to go crazy and start innovating and expanding, and huge partnerships are going to probably be coming down the line. We're going to hear some big news. So just great news all around, folks. I think this is all going to set us up for the move to new all-time highs this year and a blow-off top, honestly, because the runway is being cleared for takeoff. Folks, quick word from our sponsor, and that is Trezor. Trezor makes beautiful hardware wallets that make it easy for you to safely store your crypto. I'm a user of Trezor. I have a Trezor 5 device, and Trezor was the first to create hardware wallets. They've been at this since 2013. They created the seed phrase password setup, which many of us are familiar with, and they support a variety of tokens. All your top tokens, Bitcoin, XRP, Ethereum, Solana, and much more. They include even and new tokens that are issued by institutional investors, such as BlackRock's BITL token. The list goes on, and they have a great software program called Trezor Suite that helps you to manage your tokens and much more. It's really easy to use. And they also have a great service, an onboarding service that you can purchase to help you get onboarded as quick as possible. You talk to a Trezor representative and they'll walk you through everything and how to set it up and answer all your questions. And Trezor's hardware wallets are open source. And folks, you can get a discount if you use my code. So if you use Thinking Crypto, all one word, you can get 5% off if you're looking to buy a device. So if you'd like to learn more about Trezor and their great products, guys, check out the links in the description. Now, folks, look at this news. This is really interesting and just a sign of the times. U.S. Congressman pitches crypto ATMs in federal government buildings. Texas Republican Lance Gooden suggested that the agency that runs office space, that installing ATMs will help align the government with Trump's crypto push. Now, there's a bit of optics here, some grandstanding, so to speak, but it also just shows the environment is so different from what it was under Biden, right? They were attacking crypto from every angle, and now the government is embracing crypto, and they're looking to build with blockchain and much more. So this is really, really interesting. Take it for what it is. I don't think this will necessarily happen, right, to put something like this in government buildings. But I think it's not so much the idea as it is the sentiment and how that has changed. Now, President Trump's World Liberty Financial, their stablecoin, which they issued called USD1, will be used to close MGX's $2 billion Binance investment. This is according to Eric Trump. So many of you know I've been talking a lot about Trump and crypto, and the only thing I don't agree with is the meme coin, but his kids getting involved in building these businesses, I don't have a problem with that. Honestly, they're free to do that. So this is interesting that they're doing this. So USD1 will integrate with the Tron ecosystem supported by billionaire Justin Sun. World Liberty Financial aims to make USD1 one of the most transparent and regulated stablecoins backed by short-term treasury and cash equivalents. So very, very interesting move here. And if you read between the lines here, regardless of if you love or hate Trump, because there's people on both sides, right? I'm more neutral. I don't worship any politicians or support politicians like that. Obviously, I vote. Obviously, I care about certain issues and things like that in politics. But if you just step back and look at this from a neutral standpoint, Eric Trump and the Trump family would not be investing in this stuff or building with it if they didn't know what was coming. I think they know, I think they see, and they're taking a bet because they realize this is the future. So I hope you recognize this. Don't get blinded by politics now, but just look at it on its face as far as adoption, that these people are taking the time to do this. They're not just supporting it and helping to get the legislation through. They're building with it. And that should tell you what's coming, right? Because Trump and his family, they're all about making money. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but clearly they see opportunity here. I hope you do as well if you're still on the fence. Now, moving ahead, everything is encrypted. Aztec's privacy rollup hits testnet amid growing demand. So Aztec's rollup is a layer 2 on Ethereum. And this has been a solution that has been 8 years in development. So institutions obviously are looking for more privacy when they use public blockchains, because they've learned that when they use private blockchains, it doesn't work. It's not the same. They tried to do it. JP Morgan, Quorum blockchain, JPM coin, nobody trusts that, right? But if you put it on a public blockchain that is decentralized and it's more transparent, you can get a lot more adoption. But there are certain data, customer data, proprietary data that you don't want everybody in the world to see. Obviously, if you're a bank or a certain type of financial institution, you want to have some sort of privacy. So Aztec, a layer 2 rollup focused on privacy, shared Thursday that its testnet has finally gone live. The announcement comes as a wave of new privacy-focused solutions begin to capture interest from large institutions who need confidentiality with large transaction batches. The team behind Aztec said they have been working on its solution for over 8 years, bringing the cutting-edge technology one step closer to mainnet. So this could be another big narrative for Ethereum, which has been really suffering this cycle and underperforming, but The combination of these type of updates and upgrades on the Ethereum layer one plus staking to the ETFs could help ETH rally and catch up this bull market. I honestly think these items can play a big factor in helping ETH to rally. So, layer two networks have appeared in mass in the Ethereum space over the past few years and are seen as a faster and cheaper alternative to transacting on the Ethereum protocol. But Aztec will have to give up elements of that in order to preserve its mission of being privacy preserving as well as decentralized. So it's not going to be as decentralized as some of these other layer twos, and it's not going to have the same speed, but it's not going to be as slow, I think, as the layer one of Ethereum. But institutions, they want privacy and they're going to want security. And sometimes the fastest is not always the most secure and the most trusted. Look at Solana and its speed that it has. I mean, it blows Ethereum out the water, but it has a lot of downtime. So, look, we're still early. There's going to be iterations for many of these blockchains, and we'll see who the winners are. But they're going to continue to fine tune and build version twos and threes of their blockchains, which will be better. And, hopefully they're able to fix the bugs and the issues. But I think the fact that they're building for institutions is incredibly bullish. I mean, it's amazing. And Aztec, they had raised $100 million in a Series B in 2022, led by A16Z, so Andreessen Horowitz. So incredible stuff here, guys. Very bullish for Ethereum and the adoption. Because look, Ethereum, despite its challenges, it is getting a lot of adoption. I just talked about earlier, PayPal's stablecoin was launched on Ethereum, BlackRock's tokenized fund on Ethereum, and much more. So this is why I hold ETH in my portfolio and I'm bullish on it long term. Now, folks, Mike Novogratz's Galaxy Digital will be listed on the NASDAQ on May 16th. So I had told you guys that they are looking to go public, and it looks like they're going to be doing it this month. So we are seeing more and more crypto companies are going public, and Galaxy is actually public in Canada, I believe on the Toronto Stock Exchange, but going live on the New York Stock Exchange is a big moment because of what we've been facing in the crypto industry over the past 4 years. Things are really opening up now, and Galaxy Digital is a very large crypto investment firm, so this is really big. All right, moving ahead, Michael Saylor's strategy. They are looking to raise $84 billion to purchase more Bitcoin. This is wild. Guys, I don't have a problem with Saylor or strategy. I've said that many times. I wish them the very best. And I've often said, I hope nothing bad happens. But the amount of leverage concerns me. How far will they take this? How much debt are they going to raise? We've seen Bitcoin enters bear markets and much more. You never know what could happen. And even, look at this. Because of the tariff pullback strategy, they actually posted a Q1 loss on the Bitcoin price decline. So you see, if it just takes, a significant crash to put them in trouble. I'm not saying I want them to be in trouble, and I hope everything works out, but the amount of leverage worries me, man. And I hope it pays off. Look, because the United States is looking to establish a strategic Bitcoin reserve. BlackRock and all the Wall Street firms are buying. You got governments around the world that are mining and buying as well. So maybe it'll work out and, it won't be an issue. But the leverage really, really concerns me. As a student of history and financial history, we've seen it. You build up these tranches of debt and leverage, and you never know what could happen, and it could cause a major collapse. But anyway, this is why I'm taking profits, so that if anything does happen, I'm okay. I walk away from the bull market with my with money in my pocket, I should say. So hopefully everything goes okay, and let's see how far Saylor is going to take this. Is this something that could go on forever? I don't think so, but we'll have to wait and see. Time will tell. Folks, that's the news. Let me know what you think. Leave your thoughts and comments below. Hit the thumbs up button. A great way you can support me in the podcast is by subscribing to my free email newsletter on Substack. I actually put out a newsletter today, so be sure to check that out. Also, check out my book on Amazon. It's available in paperback and digital, and my new course at mycryptocourse.com. Folks, this is a comprehensive course that covers every aspect of crypto, Best of all, it features expert commentary. No other course out there offers this. So expand your knowledge. Knowledge is power. You're going to hear from experts, founders, CEOs, innovators, institutional investors, and much more. So it includes videos, text write-ups, downloadable materials, and much more. So if you'd like to learn more, go to mycryptocourse.com. Folks, thank you for watching and listening. I appreciate you all, and I'll talk to you all later.